It is Thursday, March 16th, 2017. I'm Dan Rubin. This is the Bucknuts Morning 5 and Change. Most of you are home sick. We believe you. Getting ready for today's games, and we applaud your stick-to-itiveness. Until then, we're going to fill your mind with recruiting. Who better? Steve Wiltfong, Director of Recruiting for 24/7 Sports. Steve, how are you this fine Midwest morning?
This is one of the all-time great mornings. My life has changed a bit, as this would normally be a day where I'd be en route to meet up with my buddies and watch on a great sports TV setup with a catered event and gambling and laughs. But my wife's out of town, so bought my 2-year-old this Hot Wheel table to play with while I'm watching games when he's home from school today, home from daycare. So I got the table squared away. I have a multi-TV room that I'll be utilizing. It's just not as nice as typical, but an all-time great morning. A couple Indiana teams are on today. I root for the Indiana teams. I'm rooting for Xavier. They got their leading scorers from Indianapolis. So a lot of local ties in the tournament, even though the Hoosiers got bounced from the NIT the other day.
Yeah, the NCAA tournament apparently, the Hoosiers and the Buckeyes had a tea time, so that conflicted.
Hey, Dan, did you go to those first 4 games with your family? That I don't know what the it's got to be a decent atmosphere in Dayton for those first 4 games, right? With the fans coming to town. I watched that USC Providence game last night. And that's a hell of a comeback by the Trojans.
No doubt. It usually depends on where the teams are from. If they get a Xavier or Dayton, for that matter, in there, it tends to be super packed. But one of the reasons I give it to Dayton every year is maybe there's not enough other interesting stuff to do here, but those games are going to be packed regardless. So good time was had by all. We're going to talk about a good time being had by all on the recruiting trail this time around. As Steve's here, we got to talk recruiting. What we're going to focus on today is the top of the top. In last year's recruiting class, according to the 24/7 Sports Composite, the Ohio State Buckeyes signed 5 5-star prospects. 3 of them are already on campus. Jeffrey Okuda, Baron Browning, and Sean Wade. They will be joined soon enough by Chase Young and Wyatt Davis, all 5 stars in the 24/7 Sports Composite. There were others who came close, Trevon Grimes, J.K. Dobbins, but technically 5 stars. The question is, can Ohio State do it again this time around? They are currently, as I break it down, in the mix for 5 stars. They're recruiting, and then 1 has committed in Emory Jones. So theoretically, they could top last year and get 6. What we're going to do today is go right down the list. Hold on a sec. What we're going to do today is go right down the list and judge which ones we have a good shot with. Keep in mind, rankings do change, so a guy who's a 5-star now could technically be 4 stars down the road, and the guy who's 4 stars now could technically be a 5-star, but we're going to use the rankings as of 8:55 a.m. on March 16th, 2017. You ready to rock?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, we're going in order of ranking. Number 1, defensive end, Micah Parsons.
He's obviously interested in Ohio State. He's been a long time commit to Penn State, but no question the Buckeyes are firmly in it for this young man who seems to broadcast his interest in Ohio State, and I'm cool with it. Just saying, it's obvious he likes Ohio State. Will he end up a Buckeye? I think that there's a shot. I mean, how can you not? So, yeah, very much so. Ohio State firmly in the race for the Penn State commit.
Jackson Carman.
Buckeye.
Agreed. Defensive tackle, Taron Vincent.
We've talked the last several Thursdays about Taron Vincent. Ohio State's in the top 2, and the next visit to Columbus is going to be huge. They're battling Florida State. my crystal ball's still on Ohio State right here. I know the Seminoles were trending. I just, his parents, impressing his parents on this next visit, just as big as impressing Taron. It'll be a well thought out decision by the family, and they'll dot I's and cross T's, and Ohio State's going to get a chance to maybe make the last pitch.
If you pan back on this recruitment, though, I'll be surprised if he's not a Buckeye. The way it's setting up, the way the visits are laying out, the way his interest has been along the way, I'm feeling pretty confident about Taron Vincent, which is excellent because he's a must-get to me.
Florida State doing very well at IMG Academy, though, Dan, and there's certainly a school that can be a force with a later visit and a late run. But, I mean, yeah, I'm still riding with the Buckeyes here, too, but we'll see what happens.
It does seem like Florida State is also in the mix for this next five-star target out of the Virginia Beach area, linebacker Teradja Mitchell.
Yeah, and he's got Ohio State in his top 10, and he's going to take another visit. Florida State's got a ton of ties at Bishop Sullivan Catholic. I even talked to another ACC school that thinks Alabama's got a great shot to land Teradja. Right now it's hard to say he'll end up being a Buckeye, as I like Florida State and Alabama a little better right now. But no question he's given the Buckeyes serious consideration. He'll be back in April, as Bill Kurlick reported, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, here's the key, and one you know well. Wide receiver Amon-Ra St.Brown. You got a chance to see him in person, tell everybody why, what kind of prospect he is, and then whether you think he's a five-star Buckeye.
Well, I've seen him the last 2 weekends. I saw him in Las Vegas at the Adidas 7-on-7 National Championship, and then I was in Los Angeles on Sunday for the Nike football regional training camp and the opening deal. And he may be the best high school receiver in the country. I don't know if his upside projects being ranked as the number one receiver in America. But right now, I mean, he is a confident difference maker, a fantastic player, and a guy that has mentioned Ohio State every time I've talked to him. So I think Ohio State's in the top 5 or 6. Notre Dame, Michigan, Stanford, USC, UCLA, Cal in there. But Ohio State, I'd be surprised if he didn't end up taking a visit. He has one older brother at Notre Dame. He has another brother that just signed with Stanford, a very affluent family. But Ohio State will get a chance. And I'm not so sure that these 3 brothers don't end up at different schools. Obviously, you have 2 that have gone somewhere different. So I wouldn't be surprised if Amon-Ra does his own thing as well and picks a different school than his 2 older brothers.
So it's Amon-Ra, AMON-R-A. It's pronounced Amon-Ra?
That's what I've been saying. I hope that's right.
I'm just, you're the gospel.
Well, he's stick now. His dad was a Mr. Universe and has his own protein product. Yeah, his dad, John Brown, was a 2-time Mr. Universe. And yeah, he's not the tallest, but he is certainly not slight in build. He'll come in physically ready to go. He's physically ready to play college football right now at the receiver position. He's packed on 10 pounds of muscle since last fall, and he looks good. He's a guy that'll be physical with the football after the catch, and he's a guy that can go up and win those one-on-one balls. Had the second best testing numbers behind another receiver I like in Los Angeles named Chase Cota, whose dad played at Oregon, as a matter of fact. So Amon-Ra's got good testing numbers. He's an explosive athlete and a very, very competitive, confident kid.
He's 6th, or would be 6th of our discussion. He's already verbally committed to the Buckeyes, and Emory Jones, he figures to get much attention up until the day the ink dries. What's your vibe on Brown ultimately becoming a Buckeye? Excuse me. 1 sec. Stop. What's your vibe on Jones eventually becoming a Buckeye?
Well, the other schools certainly haven't stopped recruiting him. And I think Ohio State will, continue to recruit him as they always have. And we've said it before, anytime you're taking a kid out of the different part of the country where there's so many power programs around him, it's not easy to keep them now. Ohio State has as good a track record as anybody at keeping a young man in the fold, and I don't think Emory's done too much to make you nervous, but he certainly has talked to other schools, and so we'll see. Right now, I still got him in Ohio State's class. That's where my crystal ball is. Not trying to make anyone nervous, but it's recruiting, and you asked.
Steve brings the truth. Enjoy your bracket busting. Have a good one, Bucknuts.